Okay, so I've got everybody. Beautiful. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you jumping on for this quick session today. I'd like to call it Lunch and Learn. So, you know, and I can see the Vivid ladies down there are doing Lunch and Learn, so love it. Okay, so I'll just get my screen up again. Excellent. Beautiful. Okay. Now, due to time and all of that, if you do have any questions or anything like that, I'm happy to stick around at the end, but I'll just go through this for people that may need to get back to work or have a time commitment that they, you know, have to get to. So thank you so much for being here, and those people who have registered but are going to catch it on the replay. Thank you also so much for you know, registering it and being here with me and listening to this, because I was just saying to Stu, like, I did a workshop on the weekend and it was a lot to do with like the self and building your inner self-confidence. However, this is more of a business perspective, and it's specifically your mindset within your business. So just to make sure you're in the right call, I'm just going to go through a few little things that may resonate with you, and the purpose behind why I do this. So what I used to do within my coaching business is I felt like I was just on this, like stuck on a treadmill, just running, doing lots and lots of action, but not really getting anywhere or not really moving my business forward. If you are like that as well, or if you've been like that, you know, put up your hand, because that was me. I just felt like if I stopped, then I'd lose the momentum and everything would just crash and fall. So the other thing was, like, another reason I do this is because I felt like I was just having the same problems reoccurring over and over and over again. And it just like, I just was like, I thought I'd, you know, worked through this, or I thought I knew how to handle this. And it was usually like there wasn't enough ideal clients, or I wasn't getting enough money in the bank to pay all my bills and things like that. So that sort of thing as well. I didn't have enough sales, and I'd be like really down on myself, and so I kept repeating those patterns over and over. Or I was self-sabotaging. Hands up if you've ever been a self-sabotager before. Yeah. So great ideas, and then I'd be like, excuses why I couldn't do it. Or, procrastination. Bit of a professional procrastinator. Hello. So, so those sorts of things I was experiencing. And that's a big reason why I wanted to, you know, run this, you know, creating a successful business around business mindset, around your business, around you. And the reason why, like, I focused on business mindset is because I was using an old mindset, because I used to work as a teacher, and I was trying to bring that sort of old mindset and those skills into my business, and I felt that it was just falling flat. So for those of you who don't, I'll get into my big promise. So my big bold promise to you. So I like to do this because I feel like you've given up your time to be here, and the fact that you've, like, you know, logged in, or you're going to listen to the replay, I just really appreciate that. So my big bold promise is I'm going to show you the 4 keys to creating a successful business mindset. And due to time, we're probably really going to unpack only about 2 of those keys. But I thought what I'd do is, like, explain a little bit about the 4 of them, how they link together, and how you can get momentum within your business, how you can get momentum within your mindset. So a little bit about me for those people that don't know me. So most of you who have registered I've met, but I just thought, you know, you might want to know a bit more about me. So I've been an educator since 2001. So that's, I did primary school teaching, but I've also been a teacher of teachers as well while I was doing my primary school teaching. I did a gifted and talented role. Came to a fork in the road. In 2011, I did my coach training qualification and started my own business and life coaching business. 2013, I was a finalist in our local business awards. And then 2019, I started studying with the Proctor Gallagher Institute and became a Proctor Gallagher consultant. And this is like now where I've had this big aha and breakthroughs with myself, but also with my clients and working with them in their businesses as well. I have 2 very active boys, and for those of you who have met my children, especially the little one, Janelle, you know how active they are. So I feel like children are, you know, a personal development lesson that I live with every single day. So, but I'm also really passionate about teaching people how to turn their thinking into results. So I came from a mindset of sort of like I didn't really have control of my life, and I felt like life just happened to me. I'd get up in the morning and I'd be like, oh, I wonder if today's going to be a good day or a bad day. I'd go through, have brekkie and, you know, spill some brekkie on me. And I'd be like, oh, no, it's going to be a terrible day today. You know, that was only one incident, but I'd set my day up like that. So I really empower and teach people tools and strategies of how to create the results they want. And it's an inside-out job. So that's why I'm so passionate about the mindset. Okay, so before we keep going, I just want to make have a bit of an agreement on the attitude that we bring into this session. And I do this with my workshops and I talk to my clients about this. I'm really big on attitude because attitude determines our altitude, like how successful we're going to be. So I really like having an attitude of action. And what I mean by that, I don't mean like, you know, massive big actions or anything like that. I'm talking about this, like just 1% improvement each day. Like it's called the 1% club. So if you can just make a promise to yourself that you're just going to be 1% better than what you were yesterday, then, you know, before you know it, a year goes past and you've increased so much. The other thing is momentum. So it's so difficult, or we find it so difficult to start that one foot in front of the other. But once we start it, we get the momentum. And what I sort of pull to mind is the snowball. You know, the snowball starts rolling down the hill and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Although that first step seems really daunting, it's actually a really necessary place to start, and that's the hardest part. But once you start going, that momentum kicks in. The other one, which I didn't put on there, but I really recommend you write this down, which I found is really great for having that attitude of action, is the 5-second rule. And that's a book written by Mel Robbins. So I'll just give you a little bit of time just to write that. So 5-second rule. Sorry, I didn't put that one down, but it's a really good one. Excellent. And I can see Nicole's nodding her head because I'm assuming you've watched it or read it, Nicole. Yeah, it's a fantastic one, especially with that attitude of action. Okay. So again, why is mindset so important? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And that's like how I said before, my story about, is today going to be a good day or a bad day? One little thing would happen and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to have a terrible day. And guess what? I'd be caught in traffic. Well, not that there's a lot of traffic here in Emerald, get caught behind a tractor. You know, have a bad day at work. And I just was looking for evidence as to why I'd have a bad day. Or vice versa, have a great day, get up early, do a bit of exercise. My favorite song would come on the radio. So mindset's so important because we are responsible for our mindset. And you guys take yourselves into a relationship, you take yourself into business, you take yourself into your family, like you are the common denominator. So if we're working on our mindset, we get the positive repercussion throughout all areas of our life. So that's why I'm like, mindset's so important. It will improve your business, but it also will improve all other aspects of your life, which is pretty cool and pretty empowering. So 4 keys to success. Now, in your workbook that I encourage you to, print out before this session, I've got there the little diagram there. And I think this is like my teacher part of me kicking back in. I was a primary school teacher. Pictures, and I love keeping it simple. So I do the KISS thing, which is keep it simple, sexy. So pictures are great because it really like kicks in our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind, which I'll explain a little bit further on when we get onto paradigms, but that's where we hold all of those behaviors, and that's our emotional mind. So it loves pictures and colors and feelings and things like that. So I find these tools really powerful. So these are the 4 steps, and I'll just unpack it a little bit and then we'll look at the first 2. So the purpose there is all about, you know, why are you in business? What is your goal? What's your reason? What's your purpose? What do you want to achieve in your business? Have you got a clear idea like about how many clients, you know, how much money you want to be making, the contribution you want to give back or you want to make within your community and your country and the world? So we really unpack like your purpose. The next key to that is paradigms. And paradigms are like a set of beliefs that you have about yourself or, you know, habitual behaviors that you do over and over again. And most people do these without being consciously aware of them. And when I sort of started it, I talked about like procrastination and self-sabotaging. These are the paradigms. So these are the things that are holding you back from achieving what you want to achieve. And, you know, it's really important both individually to look at your paradigms, but also look at your paradigms as a team. So if your team isn't on board with, you know, what your goal is or your purpose for your business, then really you've just got to go back to square one, really unpack those paradigms and have a look what is stopping you. The paradigms seem to kick up, especially, or, you know, rise when you're going after a really big goal or you're going and having a change in some way. The paradigms like creep in. They're like, you're not good enough. Nah, you won't be able to do that. No, back in your box, back in your box. So anybody relate to that when we're talking about paradigms? Yeah, can see some nods. That's awesome. Well, awesome, but yeah. That's awesome you're on this call. Okay, so posture is about you and your attitude and the attitude that you bring into your business. And you will feel this, like if you've gone somewhere like into a business or, you know that person that when you're around them, you just get like a bit of a funny feeling from them. And it's because of their attitude. And we really look at like unpacking your attitude and who you are showing up to be. So who you are showing up for in your work. But as I said before, it's like who you're showing up for in your business, in your home, and who you're showing up for like for yourself. So we're really looking at posture and your attitude. And the last one there is people. Hello, we're in business usually for people, like either, you know, providing a service or a product, something like that. So it's like, you know, who are we in business for? Who is our ideal client? What do they look like? How am I attracting my ideal client to me? And making sure that who I'm attracting is available to purchase my product or service. So that's really important as well. They might be interested to listen or, you know, hear what's going on, but it's like the next step. No, I want to attract people who are ready to purchase, who are keen and willing and see the value in what I do. So everything you believe is true. Now, this is someone with a negative mindset. Everything you believe is true. Of course it is, because they'll look for all the negative things that happen. Everything you believe is true if you have a positive mindset, because you'll look for all the positive things that happen. And I've been like accused in the past of having rose-colored glasses and all of this. Man, I'm happy about having rose-colored glasses because everything you believe is true. If you believe you can do it, you can. If you believe you can't do it, you can't. Okay, so today we'll cover the purpose and paradigms. Okay, so purpose. We're going to talk about type C goals here. And I know I haven't really left a lot of time, but I just wanted to really touch on it today and just start you taking action towards your type C goals. And as I was saying, like, you know, I've been being mentored by Bob Proctor, who's had like over 50 years in the, personal and professional development. And he's really big on prosperity and prosperity coaching. So he helps people like go for those big goals. And he breaks goals into 3 parts. So he says a type A goal is something you already know how to do. Type B goal is something you think you could do, and those type C goals are what you really want. So they make you wake up in the morning ready to jump out of bed, just excited to be doing what you're doing. And here we've just got, you know, a type A goal, for example. So a type A goal for me is getting dressed in the morning. But for my nearly 3-year-old son, getting dressed in the morning might be a type C goal for him because he has no idea how he's going to do it. He does want to get dressed. Sometimes he wants to get dressed. But yeah, so a type A goal is something I know how to do. A type B goal is you think you can do it, but it doesn't really light you up. It's a bit like, yeah, I think I can do it, but it's like you lose interest quickly, or you don't have the desire to chase after it and go for it. And then the type C goal is you don't know how, but you know you will. Like, you really want this type C goal. Spring out of bed. It makes you both scared and excited. That's how you know you're onto a type C goal. Okay. So in your booklet, you'll see type C goals. You'll see 1, 2, and 3. I'm just going to give you about a minute now to write down either 1, 2, or 3 type C goals. If you're working with a team, maybe you guys come up with your type C goal as a team, because then everybody's on the same page, getting in alignment, getting excited about what you're doing. So I'll just give you 1 minute. I'll put myself on mute. So with a type C goal, I can already hear it. So when I went to write my type C goal, a lot of my paradigms that I was talking about before kept coming up. No, Jerry, you can't do it. You've never done it before. Why will you be able to do it in the future? So what I say to my clients is, when you're writing your type C goal, you put, no limitations on yourself. So if you had all the resources you need and no limitations or restrictions, what would you be doing in your business? What would you be achieving? Who would you be attracting? What income would you be making? So all the resources you needed, no limitations or restrictions. What would your type C goals be? And if you're having trouble with coming down with 3, just do 1. Just do half of 1. You don't have to get this right. Just write whatever comes up for you on that paper. Beautiful. Okay. So like I said before, make a promise to yourself that you're going to, have an attitude of action and fill out the type C goals if you haven't already. You don't need to have 3. You might have just had 1 type C goal, and that's exciting. And then actually, with my study with Bob, he says, probably focus on 1 personal and then 1 corporate goal, so that you don't go into that overwhelm and then the paradigms take over, or the negative beliefs. Now, due to time, I know that we're just just touching. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So if you do have questions or anything like that, please reach out to me. I'm really happy to go through type C goals. I'm really happy to listen to your type C goal and give feedback as well. Because some people are like, oh, I'm a bit worried about how I write this. And it's like, no, I'm happy to do that also. Okay, so as I said before, the second key is the paradigms. And when I go through this and start unpacking what a paradigm is, you guys will be like, oh yes, I totally know what that is. Because whether you're consciously aware of it or not, they are there. They, are there in the background, under a false illusion that keeping us safe and helping us grow and move forward. But really, they're not. They're putting roadblocks up in front of us so that we can't achieve our type C goals. So another thing, what I would find is fear, self-doubt, all of that sort of stuff. When that starts creeping in, that is your paradigms. Now, in your workbook, you'll see a page that has paradigms. I've left a little space. If you want to write anything that I'm saying down, I've just left that there, because sometimes it's really helpful to know that your paradigms are that those self-beliefs or the negative self-beliefs, or they're the habitual behaviors that you just keep repeating over and over again, and they're not moving you forward. They're actually holding you back or keeping you stuck in some way. And what a paradigm is those mental programs. Almost all of our behavior is habitual. And we have actually had this behavior probably since day dot. Most of us have had these paradigms since we were little children. We made the belief, we've invested in that belief, and then we've just done the actions that support that paradigm or belief. And paradigms affect actually all areas of our life and all the results that we get. So if you're looking at your business and you're unhappy with some of the results you're getting in your business, take it back a step and have a look at the paradigms that are supporting that. So I was just talking to a client, and she is in her own business, and she's in a small rural town. Hello, that's where we are at the moment. And she was saying, Jerry, there's just not enough clients. And that was her paradigm talking. I said to her, okay, well, let's look at your business. Let's start thinking of ideas or ways that we can work smarter, not harder, attract the clients that you want, and have the business that your type C goal supports. And she has started to do more online, over the phone, and she's had actually people travel 60 Ks to see her. So that was breaking through and smashing through that paradigm that there just wasn't enough people in her little town. Okay, so your paradigms dictate like your logic, your productivity, how productive you think you are, your effectiveness, your creativity if you feel like you're not very creative, your use of time. So hello, who feels like they need some more time, management skills? But that's all run from your paradigms. Your perception of yourself. Oh, I could never do that. Oh, I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. Oh, I've only gone to, year 12. I didn't do a university degree. So how am I going to be good at business? And also your ability to earn money. So your paradigms dictate all of those different areas in your life. And you might be thinking, oh, as if that's probably a paradigm saying that. And I find when I start going after a type C goal or jumping into something really big, my paradigms are like boom, 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 boom. And it's just so amazing to be consciously aware of it and see it for what it is. So it's not actually you guys, it's your paradigms that are holding you back. And just imagine how your entire life will change or your entire business will change as you begin to improve any or all of these areas of your life. So, sorry, I'm just admitting another person. Hey, Jess. We're just going through. So with that, there are actually two ways of eliminating your paradigms for good. And the ways that you do that is through a constant spaced repetition of ideas that are essentially opposite to your current paradigm. Because you've probably repeated this paradigm or thought or behavior or habitual behavior or belief over and over again. Probably not 100, probably like hundreds of thousands of times. And I know I've done that in the past. But once you eliminate it and you replace it with the positive, that's what you start living. That's where your results start showing up. And the other way that you can change them is through a personal experience of an emotional impact. So write down in that emotional part, changing it on that level. Okay, so in your books there, My Paradigms, if you turn to that page there, on the lines there, what I want you to do now is I want you to think about the paradigms that keep jumping up for you, or those negative beliefs around why you're not getting the level of success that you want in your business. Other excuses like my client was using, oh, there's just not enough people in this little town. Are you buying into procrastination? That is a paradigm. Oh, I'll put it off until the kids are in bed. Oh, it's too late now. I've got to go to bed myself. I'll do it in the morning. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. Distractions, bright, shiny object. Oh, I'll just do this course and then I'll be able to do it. Or I'll, go here and do that. Or I'll learn this before I actually take action. I can't do it. I'm too old, too young, too fat, too thin, not good enough. Like, I just don't know enough. I'm just not good enough. People will think I'm a fraud. I should do this, but, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Shoulda, you would have heard like shooting all over yourself. I don't know enough. I've got to do another course. Bright, shiny object syndrome. I always fail. I don't want to be a failure again. I don't want people to think, oh, here she goes again, giving it another go. She'll never be successful. Oh, look at that. I'll never be successful. So what paradigms come up for you? Or I just can't attract the right staff to my business. The right clients aren't walking through my door. I don't have enough time to do X, Y, Z in my business, or I've never got enough time. That's a really big paradigm that a lot of people buy into. So just put up your hand if you've come up with any paradigms, or if you've seen like about 50 or 5, put up your hand if you've got any paradigms that came up for you there. Yeah. Beautiful. So they're the beliefs that you have of yourself, and they can be in all areas. So we're just specifically looking at business, but they might come up in relationships. Like, you know, some people say, I always attract the wrong partner. That's a paradigm. Okay, so once you have changed a paradigm, the change is permanent. And that's like the hallelujah. That's awesome. And I've seen it in my own life over the last 12 months, just the changes that are happening both within my business, within my growth as a person, me as a mum, me as a wife, all of my different areas, me as a friend, like I'm, you know, seeking out friendships on a much deeper level. So once you've changed the paradigm, the change is permanent. So let's just go back over what we just did then. So we looked at the 4 keys, and I know it's really quick because I've just sort of, you know, put it into this half an hour. I'm really conscious of your time. But we looked at like the purpose, like what's the type C goal? And you can either do that as an individual or in your team. And if you're working with a team of people, do it with your team so that it has, you know, more like purpose, passion, drive for everybody on that team. Everybody's included. And it's not just you and your energy and actions going towards it. It's everybody's energy, actions going towards it. And then we looked at paradigms, which are those sneaky things that seem to jump up whenever we have a big goal we're going for, or we want to make a change, or, you know, we want to just like do better than what we've done in the past. So from here, you've got 2 options. So I said the first, you know, we came in with an attitude of action. So the first option is, you know, completely happy with where you are, and that's totally cool. And I really appreciate you jumping on and listening to this call and, you know, just giving me the opportunity to share this with you has been amazing. And I completely respect if people are like, you know what, that's fine. I'm really happy with where I'm at and I don't feel like I need to go any further. And that's great. And I have done that in the past. That has been me. But the second option is that attitude of action. And if you're like, okay, I want to know more, I want to unpack this and see what it looks like working with you, Jerry. So they're your 2 options. And the reason why I share this with you, and I'll share like, you know, the attitude of action and the option 2 with you, is because I got really sick of doing lots and lots of action that seemed to be useless. I got really sick of spending money on the bright, shiny objects and me buying into my paradigms that I needed to know more before I could go and help people. So what I do now is I'm like, nah, this works. What I do with people now is a success-proven system. And I'm really passionate about it. One, for the change that it's made in me, but the change that it's making in my clients and the repercussion it has in their family, their business, their community. So that's why I'm really passionate about getting into this. So how I can support you is through a discovery call. Now, a discovery call is to see if coaching is a fit for you, because I don't know where you're coming from. And I can't say that coaching's a fit for you if I don't know anything about you and your business. So that's why during the discovery call, we find out where you're at. And we also find out like an area or, you know, of concern, or an area that you're having problems in. So we unpack that a little bit as well. And I do coaching in these discovery calls, but it's mainly for you to like, you know, share where you're at, what's going on for you, and to see if I can actually be a fit for you. And from that, when I say if we're a fit, I actually come up with a strategic plan for you, like a specific plan for you, and how you're going to achieve those goals, how you're going to overcome those problems or areas of concern, how you're going to like kick procrastination in the butt, you know, all of those sorts of things. So again, I said, you know, this is an attitude of action. And if you're wanting to take action today, you need to book in a discovery call with me. So the way you can do that is email. So I'll send out emails to you. You can message me. I think all of you have my details and things like that as well. And we just organise a discovery call. It takes 30 minutes out of your day and it gives you a really good snapshot. And in saying that, I'd just like to say thank you, everybody, for being on the call. You guys were an amazing audience. And I hope those people really enjoy listening to the replay as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop the share, stop the recording. And if anybody has like a quick question,